Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I want to discuss about one of the innovative approach in teaching and learning that is called task-based learning. But specifically, I want to talk about task-based learning in 21st century context. Okay, this is the background why I chose this topic to be discussed in this video. The first one is the partnership for 21st century skills. In 2006, released the Common Core State Standard, which consists of core academic knowledge, critical thinking, and social skills in teaching and learning. So this is the skill that should be mastered by the student when they are studying and living in 21st century. And based on these standards, it means that the 21st century curriculum should collaborate knowledge, thinking, innovative skills, media, ICT literacy, and real-life experience in the context of core academic subjects. So in the academic subjects, it's not only teaching the students about science, math, and so on and so forth, but also collaborate all of the knowledge with the thinking and with the skills of media, ICT, and real-life experience. One of the skills that should be mastered here is the ICT literacy. ICT literacy here is not a matter of mastering the ICT, not only accomplished when the student can use the ICT, but also how the students can master information literacy, media literacy, and ICT literacy. The use of ICT and the mastering of the ICT literacy can face a kind of positive and negative effect. And at that time, teachers should guide the students to use ICT in the proper way. The teacher can plan the use of technology by giving tasks. When we listen about tasks, the teacher giving tasks, we will directly remember about one of the approach that maximize the use of tasks in the classroom context. It's called task-based learning approach. And this approach provides pedagogical tasks to be done in the classroom setting to achieve some targets of learning. Based on this background, the researcher wanted to see the relevancy of task-based learning integrated with technology and the impact to the development of 21st century skills. The researcher will do kind of critical review toward 2 articles related with TBL and technology in the next session. Okay, this is the research question that have formulated by the researcher. The first and the one and only is how is the practices of 2 articles about TBL integrated with technology supporting the development of 21st century skills. And the objective of this study is critically reviewing the practice of TBL integrated with the technology in supporting the development of 21st century skills. Okay, and the significance of this research is expected. The result of this discussion can be inspiration for future researches related with TBL in 21st century. And also it is expected for the teachers who are looking for approach in teaching through tasks and technology can use the result of this discussion as suggestion. And later on maybe use TBL integrated with technology in their learning. Here are some theories that will be used to review the next 2 articles. The first is theory about tasks in TBL and task components and TBL framework. The first is about tasks in TBL. Tasks in TBL is pedagogical tasks because Noonan stated that there are 2 kinds of tasks. There is target task and pedagogical task. And task here in TBL means pedagogical task. There is a piece of classroom work that involves learners in comprehending, manipulating, producing, or interacting with the target language, while their intention is focused on mobilizing their grammar knowledge in order to express meaning, in which the attention is convey meaning rather than to manipulate forms. It means that a pedagogical task is the task given in classroom context that focus on the task, but unconsciously the student will learn also about the language. And the second theory is about task components. The task component that minimally accomplished in TBL is goals, input, procedures, and this component will be supported by teachers and learners' roles and settings. Okay, this is the minimum task component. Okay, the task in TBL at least consists of goals, input, and procedures. Okay, and for TBL framework here, based on Willis 1996, there are 3 phases in the basic procedures of TBL. The first is pre-task, task cycle, and language focus. In pre-task, the teacher introduced the topic and the task to the students, and later on in task cycle, the teacher gives a kind of recording text of the materials to support accomplishment of the task. And later on language focus, this is the phase when the student finally reporting the result of their task accomplishment in terms of maybe speaking or writing form. Okay. Okay, this research is kind of library research, okay, or literature study, and the data resources is from 2 international journal published in 2016 and 2019, discussing about task-based learning. And the secondary sources are several literatures related to TBL. And the data collection here, the technique using documenting or recording data obtained from journals or reference books, and the instruments used is researcher notes. And after that, after the data collection, the data analyzed by using interactive model by Miles and Huberman. Here is the result of the data collection. The data analysis, critical review. This is the first article. The title is Task-Based Language Teaching, Development of Call. Okay, this is the research from Anwar and Arifani in 2016. In this research, they conducted research and development integrating TBLT, task-based language teaching, and computer-assisted language learning, or we call it later on CALL, at junior high school in Indonesia. They use 3 phases of TBL, as I mentioned before, in designing their TBLT integrated with CALL. And then they also integrated the scientific approach that is used in Indonesian curriculum in designing the phases in this context, research context. As a result, the researchers stated that CALL can be implemented in all varieties of task activities in task-based language teaching. So I can review these articles based on the theory that I've mentioned before, 3 theories previously. Okay, it can be concluded that TBLT integrated with call in this article fulfill the minimal requirement of TBLT practice. So the tasks mentioned here in this research have already have the three minimum components. The tasks have goals and then input and also clear procedures. Further, it can be seen that the implementation can help the teachers in guiding the student through tasks given. It means that the goals of TBL accomplished, okay, because the task here can help the teacher to guide the students through the task given. And the last, by integrating TBLT with call, the researchers also give variation of TBLT and English material in general. This is the review of the first research of the first article, and this is the second article entitled E-Task-Based Learning Approach to Enhancing 21st Century Learning Outcomes. Okay, this research is by Al-Kandari and Al-Khatan, 2019. Okay, this research is happening quite kindergarten on designing and implementing an e-task-based approach, or later on we call it ETBA, and examine its impact on 21st century learning outcomes. Okay, and the result of this research showed that the student achieved 21st century learning outcomes in the implementation of this ETBA. The students confidently use ICT in every task given and perform 21st century skills. So Al-Kandari and Al-Khatan have already designed e-task-based approach in teaching in quite kindergarten, and the results showed that the student can improve and achieve the 21st century learning outcomes. And the review is the research and development conducted in relation with ETBLA by Al-Kandari and Al-Khatan in 2019 has completing minimal components of tasks, but the procedure was not clearly written in this article. Okay, so this article showed only the goals and the input given in e-task-based learning approach they are designed, but not clearly mention the steps or the procedures or the framework of doing the task. However, the researcher believes that the application of this TBLA having clear procedures, because this research has already reported improvement of the students after the implementation and achieving the purpose of designing this e-task. Okay, maybe the researchers here, Al-Kandari and Khatan, forget to write down the procedures about this e-task base, but I think the real implementation have clear procedures, because it's reported that the implementation show improvement and achieve 21st century learning outcomes. Moreover, the use of ETBLA in this case improved 21st century learning outcome of the students. It means that Al-Kandari and Khatan successfully integrated TBL and technology, and also achieving the 21st century learning outcomes at the same time. Okay, if we see from those two articles, I can have 3 points of discussion here. The first one, the two articles above have already achieved the purpose of TBL as mentioned before. They use tasks as their main concern in learning something. Both of the articles use the task as the main or the core concern in learning something. The first one is in learning English, and the second one is in teaching in kindergarten context. And the second point, it is also clearly seen that the two articles have already designed their task by fulfilling minimal components of the task. Okay, they have already the goals, the input, and the procedures. And it's also provided by support from the teachers, learners, and parents role, and also good settings. Third point is that the use of TBL in 21st century can give opportunity for the student of any age, okay, to improve their 21st century skill and use technology as academic habit, okay. Not only use technology for fun or for entertainment, but also use technology as academic habit. And as a conclusion, the use of TBL integrated with technology can be alternative in teaching while supporting students to achieve their 21st century skills and make it as a habit. Although TBL is integrated with the technology, it still performs the task function to frame or guide the activities in the learning. Finally, it is suitable to be used. TBL is suitable to be used in 21st century context by integrating it with technology. As a suggestion, yeah, other researchers can continue the study about integrating TBL with technology so that it will reflect the real situation of 21st century learning. Also, for the teacher are suggested to use TBL integrated with technology in their teaching and to increase students' motivation and give variation in teaching. And after all of the discussion in this video, I want you to reflect on yourself. Okay, have you practiced TBL, okay, or TBLT integrated with technology? Do you think that it helps your student in 21st century skill development? Okay, please share your opinion on the comment box below by stating whether you have practiced it and then how the impact of that practice of TBL to your students. Okay, thank you very much for listening and watching this video. I hope you can get something after watching it. And don't forget to comment about your experience. I really eager to know your experience and the effect of the use of TBL in 21st century skills development. Thank you very much. See you in another videos.